It is my honor, my privilege to announce or to introduce Mantsha to you guys. Let me just read her short summarized bio. Mantsha is a John Maxwell certified coach. She's a teacher, trainer, and speaker. She offers workshops, seminars, keynote speaking, and coaching to aid individuals on their personal and professional growth through study and practical application of proven leadership methods. So already kind of She holds a BSc Chemical Engineering degree from the University of Witwatersrand and is also an author, blogger, mentor, and pastor. Wow. She began her career in the PGM mining industry as an engineer and has vast experience in government, mining, development finance, engineering, and management consulting. Mantsha has worked in senior management roles in the corporate sector, government roles such as senior manager, project engineer, and project manager. Her last stint was in the government as a chief director for infrastructure management and public-private partnerships. Mantsha is an author of 6 books called Money 101, Single and Loving It, How to Pray, The Word of God, Failure is Not Final, Forsaking All to Follow Jesus, and How to Realize Your Personal Vision. Her books are actually available today, if you like. I already single and loving it. She's a mentor and business coach, and she's a publisher. Mantsha is passionate about development and runs several youth and women's programs. When excellence is on stage, guys, it demands attention. Mantsha is a regular speaker at conferences, graduations, events, and churches. And that summarizes Mantsha. Mantsha, welcome.
We are from there. So are you live streaming like from Greece? So that I can understand where I am. So all of us are in the plane. Yeah. And the seatbelt signs are off now. Captains, are they off now? Because otherwise I'll have to go back and sit down.
Yeah, only off for you.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's fine. Whether we'll have the presentation or not, but either way, I will have the presentation. You may not have it, but I think you'll be able to follow. So today, I just want us to briefly speak about what it takes to be successful in your career. For most of us, it happened sort of automatically. For some of us, we just happened to be in a place where someone sponsored us. We didn't even know that they were sponsoring us, but there was someone in the workplace who was just interested in your success, in your promotions. They would tell you once in a while if you're going the right way or you're going the wrong way. Then there are those of us that never get awards, never get recognized, never get promoted, and somehow we are lethargic around these events because we just know we are accompanying other people, we're getting dressed up for them, it's never about us. So today in my talk, I don't just want us to celebrate those who are doing well. I want all of us to actually engage and think about what does it take to be successful in corporate? What does it take to be successful in SARS? What does it take to be successful in internal auditing? I'm an engineer myself, but I think everybody who works in corporate at some point will get in touch with people with your skills. So the first thing that I want us to think about, and as I said, maybe the 2 tables will be privileged enough to see our presentation, but the rest of you won't. I think most of us know a guy called Tiger Woods. Are you familiar with that guy? He plays a sport called golf, which for the life of me, I cannot understand. I do not understand how grown men and women can spend the whole day chasing a small white ball. The whole day, especially on a Sunday. So you already heard from my profile that I'm a pastor. So I really take offense because most of them go golfing on a Sunday when they are supposed to be filling the pews at my church. Yeah. So if you think about school, when we are growing up, it's as if all of us are playing golf. Because in a way, it's an individual sport. You are thinking on your own, you're strategizing on your own, you're chasing this ball, you're figuring out your next moves. Yes, there are coaches here and there, people who are speaking to you, but in the main, when you are playing the game, you are alone. So school rewards you for individual performance. When I went to school back in the 80s, well, yeah. I actually tried the Paris look, but my hair refused to go down. So when I went to school in the 80s, we were actually given positions. So if you pass, let's say you're position 1, position 2, whatever, position 15 or position 91 if you are really in a bad class and you are really not doing well. But also, more than giving us positions, they actually segregated our classes. So you knew that if you were in the A class, that's where we were. And so if you were in class D for Dombo. So not only did they go out of their way to acknowledge our individual performance, but what they actually did is that they put the top performers together. And when the top performers were together, they encouraged each other and they kept performing. But what they also did is that they took the struggling children and they put them together. And the more they put them together, the more they struggled. The more they struggled, the more the teacher also struggled. And it was downhill from then onwards. So if you think about it, for 12 years of most of our education, we are taught to perform as individuals. For those of you who went to school back in those days, and I can see some of you may have gone to school back in those, I'm not talking about these Model C ones who are collaborating and having projects. I'm talking about our school. You remember how even when you knew that you were very intelligent, how you used to write your exams and tests. You used to be like this. You know, even if no one was trying to copy from you, you made sure that no one copied, because for 12 years of our entire lives, life rewarded us for individual performance. Then you arrived at tertiary. Back in those days when I went to school again, technicons, colleges, universities. And when you went, they didn't tell you that the sport changed. They didn't tell you that now we must work together in teams, in syndicates. We had to submit group assignments, and in a group assignment, there was no a mark for the intelligent one and a mark for the stupid one, and they didn't ask for your permission who should be in your group. So all of a sudden now, you are beginning to collaborate, but no one told you that you need to change the way that you think. So most of us began to struggle at varsity. So I don't know if you've noticed, and I think I was one of those, an A student at high school, and all of a sudden when you get to varsity, your parents are having meetings. Mantsha, what's going on? Why, John? Why are you not passing anymore? So it had nothing to do with my aptitude. It was simply because the rules of the game changed. But no one told me, no one informed me. I am still continuing with my strategy of 12 years. Be number 1. Be in class A, and in class A, be in the top 3, then be the teacher's pet, and the rest after that is history. But at varsity, it was different. Then, as if that was not enough, we enter the world of work. So in varsity and in school, you knew that hard work is equal to success. Hey, all of a sudden you arrive at work. Hard work, no success. Your neighbor here talking with everyone, charming the executives, going to the right parties, promotion after promotion. Work, no. So you are sitting here thinking, all my life, the formula was clear. Work hard, and working hard is equal to success. Now all of a sudden there's this charmer boy charming all the executives, telling them their leather skirts look nice. He's getting promoted. What is this? So we are so frustrated, especially technical people. Because if you are a technical person, you've done your accounting, you've done all these technical things, you have very good grades, you have passed your board exams, And you know that if I am technically sound, I must be rewarded for my technical savvy. But now you are in this place where there are other things, where you must negotiate, where you must handle stakeholders. You are like, I'm an internal auditor, I just want to look at the laptop. And if stakeholders are not managed, no wonder you are still where you are. And no wonder you are not getting one of these today. Because the Chama boys and Chama girls are going to get one of these. And us hard workers are bitter drinking coffee saying, we can't believe they are winning again and again. In the workplace, success is defined by something very different from what made us successful in school and in varsity. So, I mean, if you think about relationships, it's the same thing. Have you ever seen how the shortest, most ugliest guy is with the slave queen? And you are sitting there thinking, with all of this, and she still said no. It's because the short guy knew that where I am lacking in looks, my personality must come forth. But what did you do? Because you were the muscle guy and you were looking good, you said, I don't have to work hard. And because you didn't work hard, thinking I have the technical abilities, the short guy moved in. So I know that you guys are not used to using your imagination, but please use your imagination because we don't have a flip chart and I'm going to draw an imaginary graph. So please follow. This is my pen for drawing the imaginary graph. This is the y-axis. You remember the y-axis? I have my jacket, my Paris jacket is not stable. This is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. So on the x-axis, when you have time, it means that inside the graph, we have what we call a rate curve. You see, I was listening in engineering class. I know that some of you did math a long time ago, but try and follow. I'll make it as simple as possible. So inside the rate curve, you have a curve that is going up. That is your rate of learning. So that says this is how fast you learn. And we are assuming that the curve is going up. The reason why we are assuming that the curve is going up is because in sub A or in grade 1, we told you 1 plus 1 is 2. In grade 2 or in sub B, we told you 2 times 2 is 4. So the assumption is that we are building up because your rate of learning is increasing. So now here's your rate curve of learning going up. Just under it, you have the rate of change. So your imagination, this one is blue, the other one is green. It's coming, it's under the rate of learning curve. Until somewhere the two curves meet. And when they meet after that, your rate of change is faster than your rate of learning. Which means as you learn, whatever you are learning becomes obsolete before you finish learning it. Have you ever bought an iPhone? And as soon as you receive it and you open it from the box, they launch a new one. So that's exactly what's happening to us. That as soon as you learn new information, that information becomes obsolete. So what is happening to us in our careers is that there was a point where the rate of change is higher than the rate of learning. And that's why it seems as if we are regressing in our careers. So instead of continuing to employ the same principles you were employing in school, you need to ask yourself, in a changing environment, how do I remain relevant? And that's how other people are managing to be successful, where you and I are thinking it's unfair. It's because they know Zuma, it's because they know the Guptas, it's because they are part of an ANC branch and I'm not, it's because they are connected and I'm not. So all those things is part of your stakeholder management. So you can't blame me that you are not interested in your stakeholders, but you still expect to have a certain level of success. Does that make sense? So do you guys know a game called pool? Snooker, pool? Snooker. So how many people have played snooker? If you played snooker, please raise your hand. People drinking too much. Generally, these things are in beer halls. So when you are playing snooker, you can only take one shot at a time. Does that make sense? So you have your, I don't know what that stick is called. I'm in church when people are playing snooker. What is it called? Cue. A cue. So you can take the cue at any given point and deal with one ball at a time. But any good snooker player knows that even though right now I am playing this ball, I need to think about my 2 next moves. And even with our careers, the same way that entrepreneurs will come up with business plans and know that this is where I'm going in the next 5 years, this is how I'm going to get there, these are the resources that are required. We need to have the same thinking about our careers. Where you are right now, you've already thought about what your next 2 moves look like, and you already know what those moves, what it's going to take for you to make those moves. Let me give a simple example. So you know that your next move is the MBA. And you know that you really have a horrible boss, sorry for you. And your boss doesn't have an MBA. And your boss does not believe in an MBA. And no one in your division has ever received scholarship to go and do an MBA. And with black tax or brown tax or orange tax, do you guys have something like that? Black tax? Orange tax? Yeah, white tax? Yeah. So with that form of tax, you are not only dealing with your personal needs, you're dealing with the needs of the family, so you don't have the money for the MBA. So you are sitting there thinking, you know what, I really love the work that I'm doing, but I will never get a bursary for an MBA here. But I know that in another division, MBA bursaries are flying out the window. So in terms of my career, I may not want to go to that division, but my business plan demands that at this stage in my career, I need a master's degree. Instead of sitting here fighting a battle that I cannot win, how do I make sure that I move to a place that positions me to get the next thing that I need for my career? Most of us are not that intentional. You are just like, they hate me, they don't want me to go forward. It's because I'm so pretty and thin and always going to the gym. No one wants to, they are jealous of me. That's why they don't want me to go ahead. So many of us, we understand why things don't go our way, but we don't know how to change them to suit us. So when it comes to your career, instead of sitting there hoping that someone is going to do it for you, make sure that you make some things happen for yourself. So you need to understand what success looks like for you in your career. Because just because other people are succeeding a certain way does not necessarily mean that's how you want to be successful. So for those of us who've had children, do you remember when your child or your niece or your nephew started walking? Do you remember those days? Do you remember what a big deal it was when the child started walking? But let's just be honest, that child was not really walking, that child was falling. Because it was one step, falling, sitting down for a while, they were like, oh, come again, no, come. But no parent would ever go out there and say, yo, guys, there's a problem in my house, my child has just been falling. As soon as your child starts walking, we can't do anything. At parties, we can't talk about any. Guys, at 6 months, he's so intelligent. At 6 months, he's talking already. We can't even eat in peace. Let me show you the video. He's on YouTube, he's on Instagram, he's on Facebook Live. It's hectic, it's happening because your child is falling. So at that level, that child is successful. But you can't be coming to SARS falling every day and then we're like, oh, this is so great, my boss is working. So at this level, the expectation is you should know how to walk properly, and if you fall, it's a crisis. But when your 8-month-old baby falls, it's not a crisis. We even make sure that the floors are fall-friendly. But here at SARS, we don't have that requirement to make sure that the floors are fall-friendly, because the expectation is that where you are, the measure of success is different. So we appreciate the fact that you work hard. You write good reports, we all do. We appreciate the fact that you finish your audit on time. The expectation is that everyone should finish. We are not going to reward you for working. So if all you are doing is working, you get your paycheck. That's what people who work do. They get their paychecks. So understand what success looks like where you are, so that you are not finding yourself bitter because you want to be rewarded for working. So, you guys are familiar with the concept of an ATM?
Yeah.
An ATM, that place where you get money. Do you know that a lot of people go to these churches where there are a lot of prophets who promise a lot of things? For those of you who are not familiar with them, you see, that one is going to order. For those of you who are not familiar with them, let me just give you a couple of examples of what happens in those churches. So you are in debt. Your house is just about to be foreclosed on, the bank has been calling you, and the prophet says to you, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are having a debt cancellation service. Bring all your debts, and here is the anointing anointing oil. We're going to pour the anointing oil on your desk. And tomorrow, miraculously, God is going to go into the computer, Edgar's, all these places, and erase your name by the power of God. Amen. So we are there when I say, what is it? Go deeper. I say, yes. And this is powerful. Hey, when you come out of there, you are no longer answering private numbers. God no matter how blessed you are, the following day when you go to the ATM, if there's no money, you won't be able to withdraw it. So most of us understand this concept, that the ATM will only give you what you have deposited. But when it comes to the workplace, we don't have that understanding. Most of us walk into a new division thinking the boss owes me a favor when I have not deposited anything. So when you are depositing what you are required to do, what you will get out is your paycheck at the end of the day. If you want to get something more out of your career, if you want to get something more out of your organization, you need to put in a little bit more. Let me give you an example. When I was still a management consultant in Deloitte, I was working with another lady, a white lady. I come from Limpopo, so white people are not that many. Where in Limpopo, they're not there, guys. So in terms of how I was socialized, I was really used to hanging out with only black people. So now she's part of my team, this lady, and then she comes to me crying in tears one day, and she says her cat has died. And coming from where you see why it was necessary for me to explain to you a small background. Yeah. Considering where I came from, I really could not understand why she was crying, because when we were younger, the boys used to kill the cats, and it was like some kind of a game. I know they were cruel children. I tried to speak to them, but they didn't listen. So when she came to explain to me that her cat had died, because by then, even though I was an engineer, I was a technical person, I knew that what makes you successful in the workplace is how you manage relations. Yeah. Did I sit with her, give her tissue, sympathize, empathize, try to ask what happened to the cat? How long have you had it? Are you okay? Do you need to take the rest of the day off? She did take the rest of the day off. Late in the evening, I called her to check on her if she is fine. The following day when she came to work, the first thing she came to me, she told me that, you know what, she's feeling so much better. It's empty in the house without the cat, but she's hoping. I never laughed and said, well, now, can't see. Listen, guys, come back, listen. Then one day, our project was in trouble. And we had to pull all-nighters. Guess who the two people were who were sitting there rescuing the project? Mantsha and the cat lady. Because all that compassion was me depositing to the subordinate. And then when I needed to withdraw in time of crisis, it was very easy. When a person is lying to you saying that their child has to go to school, it's a deposit. Let them go. You don't have to sweat the small stuff and say, no, send me a letter from the principal to show me that this is that person wants to go shopping. Let them go. You're not going to lose anything. One day when you need them, you don't have to say, you remember that day when your uncle died 3 times in 1 year. You don't have to say that. The fact that you've been making all those deposits, when the time comes to withdraw, it's going to be a very easy transaction. The bank will never say to you, you didn't put in anything. It will never say insufficient fund. The money will just come through. And they will even ask you to, would you like another transaction? So one of the reasons why there is so much hostility is because some of us want to keep withdrawing without making deposits. So make sure that you are making the relevant deposits. So here I have a picture of a couple of ladies who are saying we are not gossiping, we are networking. So check the quality of your conversations. One of the reasons why we never go up in the workplace is because we are having the wrong kind of conversations. Let me tell you what happens. When we attend these seminars, they tell us about branding, you change the way you dress, you change your makeup, you used to use you used to use Avon, now you're using Estee Lauder. Yeah. Like, you know, you've gone up in the world, you've got a small promotion, so things are happening, you know. then you think that's branding. That is actually not branding. Your brand in the workplace is the quality of conversations that you are having. Let me give you an example. This is what happens. When your friend has bought a new dress, see, when that same friend wants input into her career, she doesn't come to you. Because in her world, the only level of conversations she can have with you is fashion-related conversations. When she wants to talk about something technical and something strategic and something important, she goes to someone else and she's like, hey, do you have a minute? I'm going to an interview. You don't even know that she's going to an interview. You only know about sales. Or you know when, oh, did you see her pants? When they come from 1950, those ones what's going on? So you own the quality and the level of conversations that we have are such that every time when people come into your presence, they have to dumb themselves down. That's because they've picked you. They put you there at this level. Oh, this one. Hey. When you are not talking about shoes, don't talk to her. So make sure that you force people to elevate the quality of discussions when they are in your presence. And that's simple. You read, Google in the morning. Just go to the news and Google. Find out what's happening. Don't talk about moving where to work, guys. You see why I'm like a mamba? Because then and then you are busy trying to figure out now what's going to happen in the Queen. No. Leave that stuff for at home. Don't spend your entire time on the phone laughing, oh my friend, I can't believe it, and expect us to take you seriously. So the level of those conversation will determine where we pitch you as a brand. In closing.
You're closing.
Yes. Okay, let me give you 2 points.
Okay.
Since you are complaining. So, like I already told you, I come from Limpopo. Limpopo is a small village, but it's like at the level of Dubai. Like it's one of those. So, for example, let me tell you a couple of things that we've inspired. Do you know a car company, a car manufacturing company called Audit? Yeah. So in my language, when you are asking a person, are you not eating? You say Audi. So they actually, some German people came to Limpopo and they heard people saying Audi, and then they went and then they the Limpopo people are. So those of you who would like free tours during December holidays, you can contact me, I'll organize for you. So back at home, where I grew up, my grandfather used to have a van. I remember it, a blue Hilux. My grandfather used to have a van, and when we were going places, I don't remember ever being in front in that van my whole life. I don't remember ever sitting in front. I think even when it was just me and my grandfather, I was still sitting in front. Unfortunately, he's late. Otherwise, I would find out from him why he always put me there. But I also think it's because water was not really a thing when we were growing up. So he was thinking about his seat. So what would happen is, when you are getting into the back of the van, I know you guys, some of you look too sophisticated, you grew up in Sandton, let me break it down for you. So when you are going into the back of the van, there's the one door which is like this, yeah. Then there's the other door which you left like this. Yeah. You're using your imagination.
Yeah.
So, when you are young, you don't want to go through the trouble of opening this door. And you know, our grandfather's van was not really well maintained, so the hinges were a bit loose. So when you get into the van, you would leave this one closed, and then you would jump over the door, and then as you are jumping over the door, you'll be holding the other door. You're not asking for help. You're not saying, hey Joe, please hold this for me. You figure out how to do this thing on your own. Then I grow up, I come to vets, and then there are people that are taking each other on dates. You know, at vets, we just had taxis. Then when you are with a guy, the guy would open the taxi for you. I don't know if other people had cars, but in my time, no one was asking me out who had a car. And then then later on, as we continue to watch movies, I realized somebody's opening the door for you. So, then I started having this expectation when you're taking me out, open the door. It was just not happening. I didn't get the size of my biceps because I'm like a gym person, so maybe they just saw that this one is strong. I'm also suspect that it could also be that upbringing of the van. You know, when you are everything multitasking, when you get into the van. But all in all, really, even though the concept of doors being opened for people, it never affected me. But one of the things that I realized that hinders us in our careers is the fact that we have this open the door for me syndrome, where you are sitting, waiting for someone else to create opportunities for you, waiting for someone else to come and make a way for you. When things are not happening, you can actually, in detail, tell us who is blocking you. As if the executive committee is sitting there thinking, how can we block Mantsha? Who is the right person to make sure? So in our world, because we have this notion that someone is going to open the door for us, we are sitting, waiting for things to happen. When actually what you should be doing for
Yeah.
and don't wait for somebody to Lastly, when you are in the workplace, are you the woman waiting to be proposed? Or are you the man doing the chasing? Man, just think about yourself. You don't have to ask your neighbor, Mgani, what am I? No, think about yourself. So, men have an advantage in the workplace because from the time they are boys, they are taught how to chase women. So, in the same way that they chase women, they chase their careers. Women, on the other hand, were taught the wrong thing. Like that. I'm 40 and single. I blame my parents. Women are taught to run away from being chased. So you enter the workplace with the exact same mentality. You're running away from opportunities. You don't want to be seen. When you were growing up, they were telling you are too forward, we are papa. So in the workplace, you don't want to be forward. You are sitting there nicely in a corner, we pop on, waiting to be found. And no one is finding you, and now you are frustrated. So these are some of the key things that I want us to get from how women go after ladies. And I'm not talking about now where a person just kisses you without saying anything. I'm talking about back in the day where a man will twist your arm until you say yes, even when you don't want to say yes. What type of chasing I'm talking about? Aggressive type of chasing in the workplace. So what would happen? Most guys got into relationships not because the women loved them, but it's because they wore them out. As a person will shell you until you can't take it anymore. You end up saying yes. Not because you want to say yes. So in the workplace, that's how resolute we must be. We must have a type of mentality that never gives up. Where we are saying, if this is where I'm going, I am going to wear everyone out until I get there. Not like the woman who's sitting, waiting to be found. The second thing, after you have the person, negotiate, 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 negotiate. So when you say, yeah, no, it's fine, I'll go out with you, but I'll only see you on Friday. The guy will try to push, no, but you must also see me on Wednesday and on Monday. Okay, I'll give you a break on Tuesday and Thursday. But Sunday, we have to go on picnics all the time. You know, because my mother is cooking Sunday course, and then I'm going to take some, my plate, I won't eat it, I'll come and eat it with you at the picnic. So, what happens when a man gets offered a job? When a man gets offered a job, they see the offer letter. As soon as they see the offer letter, they are not praying and saying, oh, praise the Lord, God has answered my prayer. They are seeing an opportunity to get more. When a woman gets an offer letter, I can't believe they took me. This is so great. Where do I sign? I want to send it back as soon as possible before they change their minds. So the way that we deal with our careers, we must be very intentional. You must know what it takes to be successful in your environment. You must know who your stakeholders are. The stakeholders beneath you, at your level, and above you. And you must manage all of them. It's like a dance lesson. When you are doing Vosho, you don't deal with one leg and then deal with the other one later. These things have to happen simultaneously. Otherwise, you just look like you are hurt, you are limp. You are not dancing Vosho. So the way that we deal with our careers, it must be a dance. You must be able to handle the technical work, do the reports, do the audit, and at the same time, manage your stakeholders and not look like you just woke up in the morning and ran to work, and still look like a professional and conduct yourself as a professional. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Someone was asking, can we just go? The school is closed. You don't have anything more to say. Huh? No, my son will say, Papa. Guys, I'm even scared to thank you myself, so maybe I'm going to call Refugee to please join us to thank our guest for the words.
Thank you very much for inspiring session. I'm privileged also as married Mutokwa. No, really we needed that. We needed to really energize ourselves. We really needed that talk, and we've taken some points, and next time when you invite you, we'll all be there in a different level. Thank you very much with a small token.
Round of applause.